Welcome. We'd like to acknowledge that we're learning today from the traditional territory of Fort William First Nation and Mkiwaju, and we'd like to welcome you to week 2 of Part 1 PQP.
So yes, welcome. We've enjoyed learning, getting to know a little bit more about you through your introductions. We have a really varied class, so that's really exciting. Folks from all over. We have some folks from some private schools. We have folks from our public and Catholic systems, and French Catholic as well.
International schools, IB schools.
Yeah, so a really great opportunity to be learning from those who maybe have some diverse views and diverse experiences for you. Module 1, we looked at first just our introductions, and then Simon Sinek and his video. We talked, I know in reading the comments, there's been some really interesting reflections on one in particular is on the culture of leadership that you create, and that though what Simon talks about, and this is reflected in someone's response, what Simon talks about is how you need to go in as a leader and how we make people feel trusted and safe, but that if you're walking into a climate of where a leadership climate has been created that is based on authoritarianism, it's very hard often to overcome that because you get automatically associated with that perception. So that was a really interesting and unique response that I had not come across before, so I appreciate the addition of that to our narrative.
And I had a chance to spend a part of the day with Sandra Herbst, who's an educator from Manitoba this past, mostly working with secondary background, but certainly works K-12. And one of the things that she talked about connected quite nicely to this, and she reminded us that the leader's role is to protect and wrap around those teachers that are actually engaging in new forms of pedagogy, and to protect them from the naysayers, from maybe the parents who might be questioning what's happening, but really to wrap them and foster that growth and that learning of it's okay to just try something based on practice and based on research, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, let's refine it, have a look, and go back at it. So it was a nice reminder to walk with your staff, but also step in front and be the shield sometimes if you have to be.
There was an interesting reflective comment as well in some of your responses regarding the need for relationships and the need actually for love to be there and trust. And we really need to think about how we care and create that caring, trusting environment. And that's really through relationships. I think you'll see as the course goes on, there's a lot of work around building relationships with others. Mm-hmm. And you'll have a chance through your EI. If this is something, a few people said this isn't something I'm really super at. So if that's the truth, you'll have a chance in the EI coming up in Module 2 to take a look at your own emotional inventory and start to examine some of the skills and things that you can develop. And they'll also, the book also provides ways for you to help develop those skills. So I think that's a good move forward.
And along the EI piece, just a reminder that both on the front page in the news and in Module 1.8, once you finish your EQI, what we want you to do is to call that number that's there, the 416 number, and we want you to make the payment. And at that point, then you email Colleen and get the number. Make sure you put your name on your actual EQI. We had several people last session that did not put their name on it, and so we had all these assessments and we had no name for it.
And further to that, also, those of you, I'm sorry, I was going to speak to part 2, but we'll save that comment for part 2. So yes, coming up in Module 2, you're really going to be looking at your own leadership styles, connecting it to the OLF framework. You'll also be looking a little closer at the emotional intelligence for school leaders and digging into that, your own reports and your books. So we move out of the sort of the large philosophy idea and now into some really specific pieces about your own personal leadership style and developing that.
I always find this part interesting because we do ask you to comment on one style that most aligns with your personal leadership and philosophy, but we'll see how you answer that as you go along. It's quite interesting to see where people land in that. Okay. So we have, I know it's quick, we've only been at it 7 days and we're on to week 2 already. So we will be working to be reading through your posts, commenting on your posts, and we ask that you do complete the exit cards as well. At the end of each module once you're finished. And keep in mind you can still go back to week 1's work or module 1 and work on that, but that we will be also moving forward to module 2 this week. So have a great week.
Yes, thank you.